ancient Indian architecture reflects a perfect harmony between three things, between science, between art, culture and spirituality. Again I am repeating, the ancient Indian architecture, it deals with the perfect harmony between science, between art, between culture and between spirituality. Then it is not only these four things, and it is also involved in understanding of nature, understanding of climate, understanding of materials, and after all, it also deals with understanding of human welfare. The person who is staying in the buildings, this human welfare is also considered in the ancient architectures. So it doesn't, this ancient architecture, it doesn't deal with only construction of any buildings consisting of rooms, the orientation of room consisting of bedroom, consisting of living room, consisting of all these facilities, but also at the same time this ancient architecture, it is not only creating space, not only construction of four walls in between what I told, it is the rooms, but it is also the ecological balance and also cosmic energy. This ancient architecture or ancient science, it deals with that. First I will briefly tell, first point, this ancient Indian science in the perspective of architecture first comes to your philosophical foundations. As you know, it deals with Pancha Mahabhuta. This ancient is emphasized on the one thing I will tell you, the unit of the individual with the universe. Unit of these individual persons, those who will be using that buildings, using that structure, it is the unit of the individual with the universe. That is the main aim of the Indian science, the ancient architecture. And there, the guiding factors, as I told just now, Pancha Mahabhuta. Pancha Mahabhuta means air, water, fire, your space, all these five Mahabhuta, and there is an equilibrium. They were maintaining the equilibrium between these Pancha Mahabhuta, as I told. It is your space, Prithvi, water and air, fire and space. And the building is designed, any structure or any residential building, maybe any public building, maybe any type of building, in the ancient architecture, this Pancha Mahabhuta, they are maintaining the equilibrium between this Pancha Mahabhuta while they are designing any structure or any buildings. Then the building is designed to maintain equilibrium among these above elements, and not only this, in addition to maintaining this equilibrium between this Pancha Mahabhuta, as I told you, it also takes care of the health, it also takes care of the prosperity, it also takes care of the harmony of the occupants who are staying in the buildings. Second part, I will just highlight that Vastu Shastra. I think all of you are aware of what is Vastu Shastra. Vastu Shastra is called the science of architecture. It is the ancient science of architecture, and also if I elaborate this Vastu Shastra, it is the ancient Indian architecture is also tells with the different type of orientation, the layout of the buildings and the different types of skills they were using. So I will tell you some key principles of this architecture of Vastu Shastra. Vastu Shastra was followed in the ancient architecture or ancient Indian science. This Vastu Shastra, as you know, they were taking proper geometry and orientation of the buildings, different cardinal points they were taking, and particularly main importance was they were taking the help of Vastu Purusha Mandal. Purusha is Mandal is a geometrical figure, and this Mandal is another type of, they were taking help of this Vastu Purusha Mandal to give the layout of the buildings. It is in the ancient architecture, ancient Indian science. Then come to, they are also taking care of climate, they are also taking care of environment. This ancient architecture was taking care of also environment and also the climate response. All these buildings, they were taking care of environmental aspect, also they are taking care of climate. So the ancient architecture, I can tell it is climate sensitive and also it is how it is climate sensitive. The walls were made thickness. Nowadays these walls are made, the pillar walls are being constructed in any RCC frame structures. And also previously the wall thickness they were making, the wall thickness they were getting more in comparison to the present one. To make the ventilation and also to reduce the heat. The thickness of the walls are increasing, the courtyard they were doing, and also the height of the ceiling. The Revansa College, this is the old building and it has been constructed long back before 100 years. And the height of the ceiling, presently the two-story building is equal to the single-story building of the old building. So the height was becoming more, and also they were making this perforated jali to have a ventilation, to allow lights, to allow the entry of, and also they are using natural building materials like your stone, like sand, all these fine aggregates, it's sand, the coarse aggregates, it is metals, chips which are using in concrete. So all these materials they are getting clay, timber, all these things they are getting used in the local building materials. And also another thing I will remind you, in hilly areas they are making the roof slope roofs, not the flat roof as we are doing, because there will not be accumulation of water on the rooftop. And also in hill areas where there will be rain throughout the year, the rainwater will not accumulate. There will be very little chance of seepage and dripping, and the seepage of water will be arrested totally, and whatever rainfall will be there, the total storm water, the rainwater will be totally, it will not be accumulated, that it will be easy flow. Then symbolism, and another thing is spectral, spatial dimension, spiritual dimension. So this was considered as the divine act. The architecture in the ancient science, it was considered as a divine act. How the temples, the palaces, the homes, they are designed as a mirror cosmic ray. Suppose I will give an example of Ajanta Ellora cave of this Maharashtra, and also our Sun temple, Konark. All these have been designed. There is a solar panel on this Sun temple. There is a perfectly solar alignment. At that time also, in those days when our Sun temple was constructed, when this Ajanta Ellora cave, it was also constructed long back. At that time also, people are having the knowledge of architecture. They have made the structure like that. And another thing I think most people know, the Jaipur in Rajasthan, the particular city planning of the Jaipur city, totally it has been designed as per the Vastu Shastra. The total city planning, master planning of the Jaipur city in the state of Rajasthan, it totally, the design has been done as per your planned as per this Vastu Shastra, total city planning. Next, so I will now give that the relevance. I have given some hints about the ancient architecture. Now I will take a few minutes. What is the relevance of the modern context? In this modern context, our technology has been totally, it has been improved like anything. Previously, it has been totally mechanized. Previously, we were excavating earth by means of powder. Nowadays, everything is mechanized, even the road construction, the plastering, the brickwork, the concreting, everything is done by machine. And by that, the accuracy of the work, the consistency of the work, and the quality of the work is definitely, and the time limit for construction activity, it has been reduced drastically. There is a revolutionary change in the construction activities now, because as we know, even in the road construction, I have seen when I was an assistant engineer in your Mahanati Coalfield Limited in the year 81. At that time, simply the people, these female employees, how much they were just using these chappals and the hot bitumen, they were carrying it, they were putting it on these flexible pavements in the road construction. But nowadays, this thing has been totally, it has been rooted out and it has been developed like anything. Whole construction technology, the construction management, it has been developed in such a way, it takes time and the quality of work is also improving like anything. So the ancient Indian architecture, I can tell, this knowledge, ancient Indian architectural knowledge offers valuable guidelines for the modern design. How? First, your use of natural local materials, as I told, sand, stone, coarse aggregates, and your clay, timber, all these are natural materials. Now, we are also using all these construction materials. Brick is artificial material, tile is artificial material. But this use of natural local materials, we have been learned it from the ancient things. Then integration of nature and built environment. Next, the focus on the human well-being. The construction, as our present architect is there doing this planning of the buildings, they are taking care of these persons, the occupants of the buildings. Then, as you know, there is the green buildings concept now. Green building takes care of this conservation of water, conservation of energy, and conservation this reduction of waste materials, conservation of water by rooftop rainwater harvesting. All these things are also being introduced. Next, the last part I will just tell you. I will give a integration of the ancient and integration of the modern. So ancient architecture, ancient Indian architecture is really, I can tell you, it is the fusion of 4S. What is that 4S? The ancient architecture was a fusion of science, fusion of sustainability, fusion of spirituality. Fusion of science, spirituality and sustainability was the main aim of the ancient Indian knowledge. And now it teaches us, this ancient Indian knowledge, it teaches us that the present construction of any structure, maybe a building or any public building, any road, any multiple buildings, skyscrapers, whatever it may be, this construction is not built, it is only not the encouraging of the space or creating a space for living, but it also create a living environment for the person, and that nurture, main importance is this present architecture is nurtures life and consciousness. I think all of you are aware of consciousness. Already I know from Manoj Das, from one meeting, one question was asked by one of the persons from the audience. Then he told, in this life, whatever we may be engineer, we may be a doctor, we may be a teacher, we may be farmer, irrespective of our professions, irrespective of our wherever we are born. But whatever we gain in this consciousness in this life, that will not go away. That will be of eternal help to all of us in our future life, in the life after birth, after death. So this consciousness, what we gain, this architecture, this construction, it creates consciousness and also it nurtures our life and consciousness. So presently you must be aware the world is facing various type of problems. Your problem of air pollution, problem of water pollution, there is conflict of water between the interstate conflicts, and also there are conflict between the different countries also. There are different type of, you know very well that now the world is facing a lot of challenges in respect to pollution, in respect of many problems. So it is, you all will agree with me that it is felt prudent at this critical juncture of today that the existing ancient wisdom can act as a springboard. As I told from the beginning, this ancient Indian knowledge or wisdom can act as a springboard for the future innovation in respect of sustainable design, in respect of sustainable architecture, taking care of the harmony of the people, taking care of the gain of construction of the people.